Ah, thank you.
I forget how to make Tattoo's character sheet not be named the nonsense.
Oh, you gotta
You
go
gotta
to
type it
edit.
in.
You gotta go to edit and change it there.
Oh, it has been changed. There we go. Okay.
That changed for me.
Craig.
Yeah, no, it's set up. Okay. So it's we're good. We're actually starting. So excuse me. I'm probably gonna have hiccups for the early parts of this game, so I apologize.
I'm not wearing one of my shirts.
But so you guys, as I've said, are in presently, or were up until very recently, in a place in the northern Avon continent in my setting of Rivera, which is known as the United Dwarven States. It's this cabal of like small fiefdoms and baronies and kingdoms and just like trade groups that are held together by very strong like mutual trade and intelligent like just diplomacy. Very recently, about a year ago, rather, sorry, comparatively recently, a fleet of ships was sent out north to see if they could circumnavigate the globe, going, over the North Pole, back down under the South Pole, to find a passage to the southern portion of the continent. Because if you sail from just straight south, there is this large archipelago of pirates and other like lawless folk that cause a just calculable loss of trade and people and vessels. So even though the journey would be longer, as long as there was nothing in the way, it would be comparatively safer. So there was this huge collaborative effort. A large number of ships went out. It was about 12, and their like helm ship was the Hammer. This giant like dwarven gnomish dreadnought, a huge ship, probably crewed by like 300 people. Right. Well, after a year, it returns from its maiden voyage with almost all hands on board, but none of the accompanying vessels. The rest of the detachment is just completely absent. They claim that they found a continent in the north, but that there was a number of complications between like rough waters, attacks at sea from like sea monsters, allegedly, and then just strange conditions and afflictions that the crew that befell the crew after they found this continent, after they had already landed, not continent, but landmass, right? So they returned, and after they returned, they had this ailment that, oh my goodness, my kitten is crying.
I'll let her in.
Sorry. So after they returned, they carried with them this illness, this curse that is causing people to age rapidly. It affects people differently, but it's not going to have a mechanical representation, but you are all, you're all afflicted. You've woken up maybe with like crow's feet that weren't there before, or just other issues that would normally be as a result of onset of age that is not reflected in your actual current age. So there was this huge call to send people out to go and find a cure or figure out what's going on, or just daredevils who wanted to go and explore this new land. And so now the Hammer is being turned around with an entirely new crew, and is also being used to ferry a large number of people. And there are also a large number of basically free merchant vessels and schooners and stuff that are now being packed to the brim with people who are excited to run off for adventure. And that's where you guys came in. You are on the Hammer. You are, you've been on this boat for about 25, 30-ish days, right? It's been about a month. It's been an uncomfortable month as well. The halls are packed. You sleep in rooms that are really only intended for one occupant, which have now been turned into like barracks, basically, with cots and just. So it's cramped and uncomfortable. You basically only have what you were able to carry on your person and in like a backpack. And the other than that, though, other than the discomfort of your amenities, it has been a remarkably comfortable journey.
Oh shit.
What?
Hang on. I just accidentally hit back. Go on, please.
You wake up every morning to the creaking of this big, like, steel armored boat, you know, in the relatively calm waters of the Northern Ocean. Every day except today.
Oh dear.
So this fleet is traveling in relatively close proximity, right? Like nobody's at the most. You're talking about maybe a few miles apart. You can see each other on the horizon. This morning at around 3 a.m., early in the morning, not terribly long after the last of the crew or the last of the the passengers have turned in, a terrible storm set in. And
Just
while
kind of out of nowhere?
huh?
Out of nowhere?
Well,
I'm sorry.
what would be out of nowhere, right? It's like a storm sets in.
Ocean.
Right.
Oh,
Shit happens.
is bad.
Fuck.
The hammer suffers a few, like, if this were any other normal vessel, right, there are these large swells that take place as a result of this storm that threaten to, like, claim ships, right? But the hammer is huge and heavy. So it weathers
Heavy.
these swells relatively well. But when the water slams against the hull, it knocks things over, knocks people to
Oh,
the
dear.
floor, and creates terrible noise. That's what woke you up. Since waking up, there have been a number of messages that have been shouted across the ship and information that has been given where it's highly recommended that as many people as are able-bodied should probably be helping, because something has breached the hull in one of the lower decks, and water is now, like, spewing into the ship.
Oh shit.
The storm is weatherable as long as you don't lose your buoyancy. So that's what you guys have been woken up to. You guys are in one of the middle decks of the ship, and people are running around, crewmen are like sprinting up and down below deck trying to figure out what's going on or what they need to be doing or where they should be going. And this hull breach in the lower deck is at the point that you are now made aware of it. There is an obvious, like, slight list in the deck that you're standing on. Like, you notice that you are standing at a slight angle, and it's not just because of the rough waters. Anytime the ship settles, you are still standing at that angle. I'm also going to say, for fantasy convenience sake, you all are inflicted upon each other. You all are in, like, the same
Oh, we're in the
barrack,
same bunk?
basically, yeah.
Glorious. I bet that was So
I have heard this screaming.
okay, so just to make sure I've got everything straight,
Sorry for that verbal vomit, by the way.
that's the beginning of any game.
That's D&D, baby.
Big B?
So
We're gonna have elevators?
Putting elevators in my fucking D&D game.
So, one, we're all awake. We're all in the same room, but we're all awake. Two, there's a terrible storm outside, and it's weatherable, but we need to deal with the leak in the hull, which is 3.
Which is what?
Which that I was counting it.
Yes.
Okay.
I have heard the screams.
There wouldn't happen to be anybody who knows how to deal with something like this.
I have the sticky sap.
Oh,
I can patch a hole with this.
Perkamplank, I am surrounded by idiots. And Malagosa said, like, who was sitting and kind of just like rubbing her head, stands up and says, "All right, that's not her voice. Hang on."
How was my plan stupid? Why are you so mean?
She's a bitch.
I'll hit her with my log.
Yeah, good luck.
Bonk.
She says, "Okay, so
Look at trees to eat you.
you are a druid kind, yes?
Yes.
Excellent. I do whatever the hell you will do. And you.
Do your druid stuff, bitch.
You and
Leaf starts leaving the room to go
Uh,
talk to the people who are dealing with the hole in the hull
Yeah.
Sylvis,
instead of being ordered around by Malagosa.
That's fair.
Sylvis will go ahead and place a hand on your back while you're leaving, and will cast guidance.
All right.
Because
Sneets. That's just a +1 to some checks, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. So Leaf wants to go locate where everyone's screaming, ignoring the incredibly rudeness.
The answer is
Offered
everywhere.
forward.
Everyone is screaming everywhere at different things for different reasons.
Cool.
But two of you in this group are large, surly folk. One of you is a furbolg, and the other is a half dragon. That is to say nothing of the fact, we have the drow boy and the dwarf who is assuredly jacked, but he's
Use
not,
the dwarf to plug the hole.
he's not 8 foot tall, you know?
It could work.
Shove him in there.
It could not.
As Leaf is going out, can I see anybody who's like injured, or are there any hurt people?
No, there's nobody hurt. Nothing is like... People aren't
Got a
like...
concussion from being thrown to the ground.
Right. But so you do get approached, though. You get approached by this small, well past middle-aged gnomish gentleman, and I mean small as in he is small for a gnome. He's a little guy. You know?
Damn.
Hello.
Tiny.
He's probably a little taller than that, but like,
Kobold size.
and he is lugging behind him a small like canister attached to a tube and like some kind of bit. And as he's dragging it behind him, he turns, in the direction that he's dragging it, and he sees you guys. And he kind of flags you down, and he says, "Hey, can any of you big folk maybe help me out with this? This is probably about as heavy as I am."
I will do this.
Yeah, thank you, big guy. Why do you smell like peat? Anyway,
I am not Pete, I am Leaf.
right, okay. Anyway, don't touch that bit too terribly hard. And he like points to the end of the tube, and he's like, "Look, I just need you to help me get down to the bottom deck, okay? We've got a big hole in the side of the ship, okay? And unlike leaves which blow in the wind, we are going to sink to the
We
bottom."
should be walking. Leaf picks up the thing with one hand.
Talking, and we're going. We are going.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that works for me. Real no-nonsense guy, this dude, I can appreciate that. And he...
There is a hole in the boat. We should fix this.
So he begins leading you guys down through the lower decks. And it gets progressively like darker and more utilitarian. Like, in the upper decks there's light just because that's where people are all the time.
Right.
And that, but now
They
that
need that shit down here.
right, exactly.
Engineering.
This is cargo engineering, that kind of stuff. But there are still portholes. There's still
Right.
you can still see out.
Gotta
Um,
have the ventilation.
It's dark. Your footsteps are occasionally interrupted by like the thunderous boom of lightning. And as you're passing by, you can swear you can see in the distance that some kind of like circulation in the storm has begun to develop. There might be a water spout out at sea. But I would like everyone to roll a perception check.
Sure. By the way, since Leaf and Sylvis left the room, I was just like, hey, Kazid, let's go find a barrel.
Sounds like a plan to me.
15 poggers.
So are you guys two separate groups now?
I mean, if once like I was like,
We'll resolve the perception first.
Yeah, let's. I mean, we're probably still following them. We just,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know. I shouldn't speak for you. Go on. What is Kazad doing?
Kazad's following the group right now.
Okay. Why am I typing in a roll? Hang on. Just
Yeah.
do this.
I need a perception check from everyone else.
Ah, shit.
Youch.
Bitch.
All right.
Sorry.
You're good. Nope. So, Sylvis and Kazad, you guys notice in the portholes as you guys are passing down, like running down through decks, and people are running up past you, surly gentlemen in like welder's clothes. I am so sorry for my darling child. He is going to cry, and there is nothing I can do about it.
Stop apologizing. The cat is
Oh
good.
wait. Does the guidance apply to the check I made, or does it not matter?
The DC was 17.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But so as you guys are passing by, you notice something out in the water that is noticeably darker than the like shade of the water that is flowing by.
Oh,
the-
sisters.
the swell. And as a crack of lightning in the distance like illuminates the seascape, this large dark figure moves in an undulous suggestion that is entirely incongruous with
That's what
the
they called me in
waves
college.
that it breaks through. And as that like motion terminates, a number of vessels that are like traveling with the fleet disappear.
Fuck.
Oh shit, there's a couple things I
Alright.
forgot to add.
Disappeared. Could I have cast light on my chain?
Could you do what now? I'm sorry.
Upon noticing the shadow, could I have cast light on my chain?
Sure, but it's not going to illuminate out like a mile. It's not
It
going to
was
make.
okay. Sorry, I wasn't the impression it was closer than that.
No, it's like you're looking out at basically the horizon at sea in these like choppy waters and a terrible storm. It's not
So-
anything that's yeah.
So this is just gonna say that looked worrying. Did anybody else
What?
notice that?
What are you
Aye.
talking about?
There is a hole in the boat. It is very worrying. We should fix.
Also be worried about whatever those figures were.
What figures? What are you talking about?
I'm with the big moss man. We should fix the hole in the ship before we all end up drowning.
Yeah, hole's priority, but hopefully we won't run into the big fucking squirmer out that way.
There is the hole, small man.
We've got a couple more flights of stairs, so he carries you down, and Carry-
Shall I carry you as well?
oh yeah, that sounds
Fine. Never pick up a dwarf.
The gnome shares a look with the dwarf. But you guys are brought down to the deck where the hole is.
Don't tell me.
There are no lights down here, no torches. It's nearly pitch black, right?
No
Casting
light
light on my bell.
You
Which is chain.
Yeah, so you cast light on your bell, and the room is lit up somewhat better. This appears to be some kind of like ammunition storage deck, because this is a warship, right? Which is kind of strange, but not necessarily unreasonable, considering like
Sea monsters.
the whole point of this voyage was to avoid pirates in the first place. But
Making pirates dead is a great way to avoid them.
that
gotta
is
say.
true, but you would need a lot of ships to make all of the pirates very dead.
This is true.
So,
Or one very big one.
or one very big one. Really, this is just proof of a gross misallocation of capitalist resources. The hole in the side of the deck is currently being held in place by a number of dwarves and volunteers. Just there's a menagerie of individuals who are pushing like ammunition containers up against this large number of like riveted together steel plates, right? So people have been like running back and forth. They've got these like patch plates that they're putting up against the side, and they just need it to be welded in place.
I can hold the pieces in place.
It's like so they're already being held in place. It's about, the hole is large. It's about 20 feet across ish. But it is secure enough against the wall that as long as somebody can seal it, it should hold. And the gnome points out like, okay, we've got to get over there to that, and I need you to just set me down and hold on to my little canister for me. It's real hard for me to carry, and don't let me fall below the water line. Which, as you guys step, you're not off the flight of stairs you're on. There's probably another 6 or 7 steps, but that is where the water line is.
That's worrying.
Leaf takes a bit of rope from their backpack and kind of offers to fashion it around the gnome and around themselves
Oh yeah, I appreciate
as a safety
that,
line.
You're the
This
best.
way you will not sink.
Do you have a way to seal this? Do you have some fastener or maybe a big hammer?
I am assuming this canister will do.
He pulls into his like coat and pulls out a like matchbox basically. And it's like a strike anywhere that he gets going, and then he pulls the bit from the end of his like tube on the canister and pulls a little trigger thing and puts his match in front of it, and it's just this like bright blue butane. Yeah.
Welding
Why,
torch.
Yes, I do.
Useful. All right.
Oh, cousin of mine's got one of those.
That's nice.
Well, let's not waste any more time.
Leaf keep making sure to keep the gnome well above the water line approaches the hole.
Malagosa does as well.
Elvis will navigate around to make sure the light is in the best place.
Okay. So, as you guys are, lighting up the place and helping out, and this gnome is beginning to weld this hole in the hull shut. And people are able to like slowly disperse because they don't need as much pressure to hold it up against the wall as the like patch comes through. And a number of other individuals come down with their own welders and begin assisting, because again, it's a large bit of area that needs to be covered. A couple of adventurers come in, and they, there are people who are higher level than you, in a word, right? Who force some of the water back out of the boat, or they freeze it, and then people break the ice blocks and carry them up the decks to then throw them over the edge. Like,
Yeah, we're solving global warming at the same time.
Right. Like,
We're putting ice in the ocean. We could just cool it down.
Saves a lot of failing.
but as that happens, there is a metallic bang, and you feel the ship lurch in in a direction that is not with the waves, because you can feel the waves hit the hull and the flow of the ocean hit the boat as this noise happens, and there's this awkward course correction basically. And you hear this terrible metal grinding sound as the ship is forced one way, slammed into the side. There is then the sound of terrible grinding as it is then pulled back in the direction from which it was just hit.
This is not natural.
You hear a lot of screaming above deck, above the deck you're on. There's a lot going on. But water doesn't begin rushing down the stairs, so there's at least, the decks above you aren't beginning to flood now, so there's that.
So what did you say about figures in the water?
Big fucking squirmy thing took down a bunch of boats. Think it might be here.
And you didn't think to mention this earlier.
I did!
They
There was a hole in the boat!
They
You were
said
quick.
there was a squirm. I heard it with my ears.
Instead of complaining, you can go up and look and see what it is.
I'm already.
Wait.
I don't know how to tell you this, but I can't see a goddamn thing out these portholes at 3 a.m. I don't blame the big scaly bitch for not being able to see anything.
Well,
Little man, do you still need me to hold?
Yes, I need you to keep letting me stand on your shoulders so that I can get the top of this.
Very well.
I'm headed upstairs.
And then he just,
Kazan takes off.
I as well. And
I will join when the little one is done.
I'll go get my weapons and then go upstairs.
Yes.
Stay down, and I'm going to make sure that everybody can still see down here.
So, as you guys turn to leave, the boy has managed to, the groups of people, moving up and shifting around and everything. You guys are pretty much the last people left in this room as he is finishing up this weld, and the water line has now been brought down to a bit below your knee. After that's happened, there is another loud metallic bang. The ship shifts again, and you guys are nearly all knocked to your feet. I'll take a reflex save on that one. And the hole in the hull, not completely, but a portion that has been
Oof.
a portion of the hull that had been welded is now forced inwards. It's broken into, and in addition to the water that is now flowing into the ship, in the shifting and the darkness, it's not entirely obvious, but what it is. But something has entered into the room with you.
Oh no.
And we're gonna take initiative. And I'm gonna say Malagosa and Silvus are probably on the ground.
They went they left the room.
I mean, it was,
This was as they
yeah.
turned to leave.
Okay.
and I just said I don't have my sword on me. I have a dagger in my boot.
That's why I wear my fucking chain.
I wasn't gonna take my great sword to a ceiling that. Oh, I don't have a dagger. Fuck.
The log don't leave.
I forget how to put people in turn order. God, I do not like cultivating.
Right click a token and choose add a turn.
I'm
can
not.
also
I'm not using. We're not
sure.
going to use a battle map. This is all going to be What was that? Oh Jesus!
Damn, Kiki.
Hot
Boom,
damn.
boom.
Oh man, I'm not rolling well. I hope that this isn't the start of something.
Turns out Malagos is all talk,
Ugh.
huh?
She definitely isn't.
She's mean.
Well, get over it. Some
No
of the
valid
characters are
token
mean.
was selected. What?
Oh,
Don't worry.
about that.
Just go ahead.
How?
Okay.
It's
So we
it's
got-
jokes.
I know
it's
it's I know
jokes.
it's just jokes. I know it's just jokes.
We get it, Declan. You don't need to feel defensive after everything anyone says.
It's just jokes. Just jokes. I get it. I get it. It's just jokes from me too, or not? It's not jokes. It's you get it.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Sorry. So it's gonna be fucking Kiki's character. We got Sylvis up at the top of the initiative, almost definitely. And unless this terrible thing rolls so spectacularly well.
Give it a nat 20.
Well, I don't get to choose what
No,
it
I know.
rolls.
I know.
I mean, I do. I literally do. But
That's not. Yeah. Oh man,
and then we
Tat.
Hmm?
How you doing?
I'm doing.
Tattoo's used to being at the bottom of initiative with Caster. Let's not mince words.
Yeah, you got me there, Chief. This is nothing new.
Oh my god, why can't I find the thing I'm looking for?
Oh, if you zoom in on the DM's webcam, you can see what we're fighting. It's the meta.
Talk
Computer,
shit.
zoom, computer, enhance, enhance, enhance. It's a Yogg-Sothoth.
It is not. It is not. It's
Oh,
not a.
fucking
It's
hell.
not a mythos creature. It's not a. It's. We're not. I've got an. I've got my fill of that.
We're fighting the deep one.
The deep one.
Oh, dude, no, I've played this game. It's the Unspeakable Deep, and then we have to die to it and wake up on the island.
Oh shit! It felt
Don't you
familiar.
mean Sultan Sanctuary?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh fucking hell! That would be bad.
There's a lot of
Hey,
games that start like that, actually.
hey, actually, if it's like that, Sylvis stands the best chance of actually beating it and ending up with a pearl.
Hmm.
Since
Okay.
a cleric is the best class suited to beating that. Anyway.
Yeah. I got it.
Okay, so there. Sorry, I'm keeping track of initiative on my own because I don't feel like trying to remember how to do it in Roll20, and it doesn't even matter if we have tokens because we're doing this in the theater of the mind. So, you guys, at the top of initiative, we have Sylvis. You have been knocked to the ground, and you're like, you feel your face like go underwater. There's that brief moment of like panic and everything gets kind of warbly with your eyes open underwater. It takes you one action to get up. If you choose to do that, I guess you could lay in the water on the ground.
Just kind of vibe.
But you see through the water like shimmering, the light from your spell, and the room stuff is moving around and changing the way that shadows are cast. You are just in this dark, dank, cold, uncomfortable room, and everything has just become very crystal clear. If you weren't awake when you got pulled out of your cot, the adrenaline has hit you now. But regardless of whether or not you do choose to get up or just sit there and vibe underwater, you can't see whatever entered the room with you.
Oh boy. Fuck.
You should probably take an action to stand up.
Yeah,
No,
first
just
things
drown.
first.
Just
Fuck.
drown.
Just drown.
I take an
Just
action
stay
to
there,
drown,
vibe.
and I'll start rolling my next
Absorb the
character.
seawater. Become
Ah,
seawater.
So
Just
much
dissolve.
I take an action to drown, and I'm going to start rolling my next character.
Oh, I liked Leaf. Oh no.
I take an action to stand up because
Leaf's fine.
yeah.
Alright,
Fuck you.
use the
Can't see
stand.
what's in
You
here.
find your sea legs.
Can't see what's in here. Fuck. Okay.
You can take an action to try and perceive this guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna try and figure out what the fuck is going on.
You, yeah.
Fuck is going
Dude, what should I roll?
If you're trying to find this guy, it would be perception. If you want to cast any spells, it would be whatever the spells ask you to do.
Oh,
And then
shit.
Kiki left. And then
I don't know why it kicked me out.
I
And
see
then-
the action was taken to drown.
so
There it is.
Summers is chosen to drown.
Oh no!
Hey guys, I'm going back down.
Hold on, let me check.
Wargle Gorgle.
Okay, perception. Oh, I can do that. I can perceive. That's that.
So you see this shimmering shape moving in the water. And it is relatively indistinct. It has a large number of tendrils connected to a central mass that are
Whoa.
beginning to spread out inside the water that is only barely illuminated by your spell. Because it's a large room, right? And this is the only light in it now. You wager you would be able to swing at it, right? But there, in mechanical terms, there would be some kind of penalty that you are not necessarily fully aware of. But it is, it's postcode, it's cardinal direction, but you don't exactly have his number.
2.
His number is
So would I be able to able to help the others by pointing out where the fuck it is?
sure, if that's what you want to do. If you
Yes. Elvis is
So-
gonna take a second to scan the room and look for this thing, spot the weird shimmeriness, and try his best to direct the others towards it.
Sure. So you guys, you have Sylvis point out to you as soon as he gets up out of the water, and he's got this drenched mess of clothes on and just
Oh no,
freezing
his makeup.
Well,
Oh,
he
no.
woke up. Technically, he doesn't have his makeup on yet.
But they point out in the water and show you guys the direction of roughly where this thing is, where it's coming from. The gnome is struggling to get up above the water line because again he's very short and the water is filling the room again.
I thought he was on my shoulders.
You succeeding your reflex save is not the same as him succeeding his.
He's died to me.
Yeah, he's tied to you with a rope that has 6 feet of slack.
I reel him in.
It's not your turn. Wait, it literally is. It literally is your turn.
Do I have to take an action to do that?
If you want to reel him in, you could just let him sputter and figure it out.
Your first kill.
I step on the gnome so he drowns faster. Turns out that Leaf was fucking true evil.
Yeah, then we learned that Leaf's circle was murder.
Yes, the druidic circle of fuck.
Oh.
Let's see. What
Wait,
can I do
that's
here?
my circle.
What can I do here?
Yeah, God.
I guess I will spend an action to reel him in and make sure he's safe.
Oh, thanks, man. You're the best. Yeah, I really like you, man.
You should stay on my back.
Oh yeah, sorry. Next time, I'll be sure to ask permission before I slam my face into the floor in the freezing water.
No, I mean now there is something in the room.
Yeah, I mean there's water everywhere. That's the problem.
There is an animal.
I don't know if that's what it is, but it's right there.
Is that whatever horrible beast in the water lurks?
It's Malagosa.
Yeah, because I'm in the water
She
right
got
now.
knocked the fuck over.
Yes.
I guess I'll attempt to perceive as well.
Oh no, you if you You don't
Up
have
to you.
to,
Oh.
right? Like Sylvis,
Oh, okay, we just
Yeah.
there it be.
you still can't make out what it is, but
Right, but
you know
there's
where
a thing
it is.
there.
Yes.
There's a wiggly boy.
There's a
Right
warbling
there.
sun.
There's a wiggly lad.
Rise, dog.
Hitting it with electric arc would probably be bad in a room full of water.
Ooh, that
Yeah,
might feel
That's that's the
Yeah,
first
no,
encounter of
don't.
Bioshock.
You know, the fucking. You know, if you did that, it would be like the equivalent of Malagosa doing the like Yamaro emote that we have. Like,
Not poggers. All right. I don't know. None of my spells really fit this. I know I forgot to write down a couple things. Let me check Path Builder. Let's see.
Oh fuck yeah! Thank God I'm not a spellcaster.
We
We'd
Oh,
have been
fuck.
here all night.
Oh fuck! I'm not a spellcaster.
That just means you can't cast lightning at it and watch it grow.
Can I use some wild empathy to see if I can talk to this thing?
what does wild empathy do?
Wild empathy. I don't have it written down in Roll20. I'll read it.
That's fine.
You have a connection to the creatures of the natural world, which allows you to communicate with them on a rudimentary level. You can use diplomacy to make an impression on animals, to make a very simple request of them. In most cases, wild animals will give you time to make your case.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see.
Make a diplomacy roll.
Hey!
Damn.
Okay.
Nice.
the magic squid.
So Leaf kind of raises their hand that isn't steadying the gnome, and it's a faint greenish,
Okay.
trying to sense this thing.
So you still can't quite necessarily make out what it is, but you get the
Right.
sense, speaking to it, that it's infantile. Like it's not.
Hmm.
It is cognizant and smart enough to respond to you, right? Like,
Right.
So it recognizes the impression you're making on it, and the movements that it is making inside the water kind of subdue for a moment, and in your mind you detect like a response, like a presence, right? Not for foods.
No, these places full of dangerous things.
You are not for foods. There is danger.
There is danger here. You, to be safe, should leave.
Okay. And there's like a single
Wow.
like tentacle comes out of the water, and it's this like long smooth tendril that terminates in this like kind of diamond shaped end, and the suckers like stick to your face for a second and just kind of slide off as the creature goes out the hole it created.
I have made contact! I must write this down later.
As you watch it leave,
To join the church.
like flowing through the water, it becomes obvious that that thing probably from end to end was like 25 feet.
Holy shit.
This was
Ah.
a child. It was looking for the food.
Malagosa bursts out of the water like, where is it? Where's...
It is gone. I convinced it to leave.
So,
Really?
like, are you sure that you aren't interested in the church? I mean, we can probably. You don't have to like get in all, jump into the deep end. You can like.
I believe we should fix the hole in the boat.
No, I'm already on it. And he strikes another strike anywhere match and lights his fucking torch. And as he does that, right, like, you know, he's got like a welder's mask on. Before he brings it down, you notice that there is a cutout in his welder's mask on the like right side of his face. He pulls out a now damp cigar and
Oh
just
my
kind of like
god!
shakes it free, puts it
Light
in
it
his
with the
mouth,
torch.
and lights it with the torch.
No. He lights it on the weld.
Yeah, that's and begins like
He lights it
putting-
on the fucking molten metal that he's welding.
God.
All right, you know, so he gets back to work and he's like, as long as no more whatever the fucks come through the hole in the wall and nothing hits us and we don't get into any choppy waters, there are no terrible storms, nobody fires a cannon, and nobody sneezes too hard, by the time I'm done, we'll be good. And then we'll have to have someone bring all the water out of here. But it's just listing.
I have to sneeze.
No, it's a joke, man. It's just
I have also made the jokes. Leaf raises their hands. It is important to be in good spirits in the face of danger.
Yeah, all right, Pete Moss. So look, just find your way back upstairs.
I
You'll be
am not
fine.
Pete. I am Leaf.
Leaf. Hey.
Yes.
Well played. But
Hope you
I'm
know
go-
what you've gotten into.
I'm going to go upstairs, and I encourage you all to do the same. If I don't think whatever that was the same thing that took out the other boats.
No, that was a child.
Oh, good.
Oh, bad. That means there's a mother nearby.
Yes, probably if I know how animals travel.
Given how you fell asleep on the job back there.
Huh?
Oh, sorry, were you not napping underneath the waves? And Sylvis chuckles as he starts going upstairs.
Little person, do you need me to hold?
No, I'm fine.
I'm
Most of the
fine,
damage-
thanks.
Sylvis's eyes kind of narrow, and she like.
I'm sorry,
under her
Sylvis?
breath. No, rather not.
Bum, bum, bum.
Malagos's eyes kind of narrow, and she mutters.
You
and
couldn't
she-
help but try and play the drow.
Well, he still is half elf, by the way.
Malagos is half a high elf.
That's not
But,
a drow.
It's not-
Opposite end of the spectrum.
It's elf.
Leaf
Bad
goes up
annoying
the stairs with
Yep.
everybody else.
I'm gonna grab my weapons and my armor, which I didn't change into because I was like, I don't have enough time to do this.
Leaf sleeps in everything, standing up.
Oh, I thought you just were like, I gotta go take a 8-second micro nap on every surface possible.
No.
I was very deeply confused.
No,
So
Leaf
just take the
Leaf
next-
just sleeps in their field gear, just standing up because they don't like confined
I see.
spaces.
Okay.
Yes.
Sylvis has to go take the next 3 hours to do his makeup.
Kazad
So
changes
3
into
hours
his
later,
armor and
we're
grabs
ready
his
to
weapon.
roll.
So 3 hours later, when we're all at the bottom of the ocean, Sylvis is looking pretty
Fresh,
fucking fly,
though.
though. Yeah, right.
He
Well,
do
you-
be looking fresh though.
He has. I kid you not. I spent the fucking money on it. I have a fucking personal mirror and level 3 elite cosmetics.
Well, you make a pretty corpse.
All corpses are beautiful. They return to nature.
Anyways,
So,
so,
you guys,
what's up there?
You guys travel up the decks. You guys get your gear on. You know, Malagos is suited up. People are now visibly wounded, right? And while there's not necessarily water flowing down from the decks above, there is now water on the floor of the deck that you guys came from. It's just a little bit. It's enough that you can, when you step in it with your boots, it makes that noise. You know what I mean? That little splashing noise. But
Okay.
as you pass people by, they've got cuts and scrapes. Nothing major. Nobody's sitting there seeing a cut. Yeah. No one. This isn't the beach scene from Saving Private Ryan.
Oh.
Right.
But as you're like pushing up the decks, someone is like this human woman like comes and pushes herself up against the wall from the you guys are now just 2 decks below topside, and she like holds herself against the wall after coming down the stairs like right in front of you guys, and she turns to you, and she is this like blonde woman in like ornate armor. If she would be like the spitting, she's like Griffith basically, but she looks like shit.
Who?
From Berserk.
Pretty
I
waifish
get it.
white
I
hair.
got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I got it.
But-
Twink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The twink.
Yes, but she looks like rubbish, and she is like bleeding from she's got like a cut somewhere above her eyes that is like just causing her to uncomfortably bleed into her face. And she turns with one eye closed to look at the rest of you, and she's like, "Oh, good. Everyone below deck hasn't ended up drowning yet. You might want to get upstairs. I came down to inform the rest of the rabble, but we are abandoning ship."
What?
What has happened?
You asked that question, and then there is another loud, heavy bang, and the ship lurches again, and you are all pretty much brought to the floor by it.
Uh-oh.
Heels were a bad option.
Oh my god.
Yes, they were a terrible option, and she like
I
now-
can recommend some good sturdy boots.
Can we please focus on this situation?
Yes, what has happened?
I can't focus on anything. I'm concussed.
Would you like some help? I can do healing at least.
No, I'm good, Drow. You can keep your magics to yourself.
I have a bandage.
I'm good. Nothing screams infection quite like soaked bandages.
What? But abandoning ship to where? We're in the middle of the ocean.
Better to be in the middle of the ocean and a smaller target.
What
Leaf.
has attacked us?
I don't know. I just know it's big.
Leaf, if we're abandoning ship, you should go get your small friend.
Yes. Leaf goes to go back to the end to the wherever the below deck, the ammunition store.
Okay. So you guys separate. Do you guys just sit and wait for Leaf? Because that is not a short walk. That's like 5
I
minutes.
still have the light around me, so I'm gonna join him.
Okay. So it's Kazad and Malagosa in one group, and then we've got Sylvis and Leaf in another. Are you two gonna go? We're gonna focus on Malagosa and Kazad. Do you guys just go above deck? Like, do you
Yes.
guys continue on?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are now out in the open air. This ship is like from end to end, like it's like the fantasy equivalent of like a battleship or a fucking aircraft carrier, right? Like it's a big
Mhm.
boat.
Fire Nation Ash looking motherfucker.
Yes. And something in the dark, which is being illuminated by like torches and lanterns, some large slimy mass has wrapped itself around the ship. And you reckon now that the large, like the heavy metallic bangs that you've been hearing are this large tentacle that it raises up into the air and then brings down on like the side of the boat, or like brings up behind it through the water around like under the underside, hitting like the keel. And you can see from up here like splintered boards and bent metal, like damaged parts of the boat that are probably like, up here are severe, but below deck are at least enough. Like, we haven't sunk yet. But whatever this thing is, it is large, heavy, and perfectly capable of like enveloping this vessel. And you hear the shouts of like dwarven and gnomish crewmen like running across the deck, man the cannons, where's the powder? Oh god, it's all wet. Like, trying to find some kind of way to not abandon what is genuinely a marvel.
Tiveros.
And,
That's a
as-
bit bigger than the hole.
as all of this chaos is going on, and you both make your statements of surprise, there is this almost deafening screech that emanates from this creature.
Oh,
Yeah, something like that, but like 140.
I didn't want to
decibels.
do it super loud, so I didn't open my mouth.
But something approximating that
at a
at
burble.
100 billion.
Oh god.
It just goes. Blah.
It is so loud that you can hear glass from the portholes in the decks below you shatter. Not all of them, like they don't just all pop, but like some of
Several
them.
of them.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, there's the tinnitus.
Do you want tinnitus? This is how you get tinnitus.
About 40 feet in front of you, though, there is this large, like, turret battery, right? Which is struggling to, like, lurch itself in the direction of the, like, primary mass of this thing. And there's all this shouting and commotion of, like, people are running to it to try and help or try and figure out what they can do or what's going on. And then there are other people, like, jumping into lifeboats trying to abandon ship, and there are like marshals on the deck trying to like, no, don't leave, what are you doing, like, what makes you think the water is any safer, you daft bastard, like, not necessarily to any avail, because this thing is a nightmare. Do you guys try and hop ship?
Where are the lifeboats? Are they just kind of
They're
all
on
along
like
the side?
they're along the sides of the boat. Each one of them probably holds about 20-25 people. They're kind of like on a rotating caddy almost.
Fuck. All right.
One can hit the water and then another one gets pulled back up.
Kazad runs over and helps with the evacuation effort. There's no way in hell that we're saving this vessel unless we can take that tentacle off, and like hell is that happening.
It's gonna need like
Not with wet powder.
Malagosa thinks to herself and is like unless that thing has some kind of distraction, it's just going to kill people who go into the water. So she's gonna run over to the cannon battery.
Okay. So we're gonna take a brief break. This is any time that we play every week going forward. We're probably going to take a 5-minute break, around 5 to 10 minutes, around 10 o'clock. I have to pee. I also have to get some dishes out of the room. So we're going to take a break there. And when we come back, I'll decide whether or not we're going to move over to Leaf and Sylvis for a bit before we come back to Malagosa and Kazad.
All right.
All right.
Do you want me to stop, Craig?
Yeah, go ahead.
Adjourned.
Adjourned. Craig, leave. Get out of here, Craig.
Ah, thank you.
Oh, no.
It's gonna happen every time.
I'm trying to download these and it's not loading the page.
No, it's not.
No.
Here, I might have sent you a bad one. Hang on. Try this.
How do you not know which one is which? Oh, there we go.
For those at home, this is what's known as a technical problem.
It's called a pro gamer move. You keep it to yourself.
In the midst of a technical problem, often they will be edited out, but in this case, it will probably be left in.
Yeah, because
For those listening at home, this is what's called a technical problem.
Anyways,
If you don't stop, I'm going to stop you.
so what's happening? What's happening with the squid ship?
Okay.
What do you mean?
So we're gonna come back to Kazad because this poor boy has done has had a go of it so far and has not gotten to do a ton. So you come over to assist with the rescue efforts.
Let's get the fuck out of here!
Getting people into boats. There is a surly dwarven martial gentleman. He's got like a scar on his face. He's got a eye patch over one eye. One moment. Sorry. He's got an eye patch over one eye. He's got this huge, like, salt and pepper beard going on. He's a big dude. And he's trying to direct people away from the lifeboats. He's like, no, you need to stay on board. The water is worse than just trying to stick it out with whatever's coming down on us. And he's basically putting his body between, like, the lifeboat that you arrive at and this group of people who are trying to flee, most of whom look like kind of, young, not necessarily particularly seasoned adventurers who are kind of pissing in their boots.
Football tackle him.
Hmm?
Tat?
Why wouldn't the water be safer? Do you fucking see the size of that thing?
Okay, well, let me ask you a question then, you dense motherfucker. What happens when this ship sinks? What happens because there's still a storm going on out there? And that is conveniently punctuated with the crack of lightning. When there's a swell and you're in a 25-man boat and you're capsized and then you drown anyway.
I'd imagine you'd have a better chance to getting sucked down with the 40 bajillion ton pound metal boat!
Listen, lad. I'm not going to let people throw themselves into the water just so that they can dig themselves an early grave. You're either going to stick it out and fight it up here, or we're all dead. And then
Do you have a plan for fighting that?
He pulls a scimitar from his side. No, but I got a plan for fighting you.
Oh, wow. I think this man... this man's trouble.
I got the little dialogue options here.
Hold on, I'm trying to see if I should press X or Y.
Take
got,
the glass him.
got little dialogue options here. I can say, "Oh fuck it," and go fight the squid, or I can plant my pick in this man's face.
You're a kid now. You're a squid now.
I can fight the squid kid, or murder.
Is it murder?
Self-defense murder.
Fuck. I'm gonna try and take the scimitar out of his hand as I move towards the squid, because pick is not good for dealing with flesh.
Sure it is.
Well, not for cutting it. If we can cut off the tentacle, it can't hit us.
Okay.
How thick is this tentacle, actually?
One of the tentacles coming over the edge of the boat, in terms of thickness, is probably like 7 to 10 feet thick.
Never mind, we're not cutting through that anyway. That's just not happening, Chief.
7 to 10 feet thick, you say?
Don't.
Oh, no.
Okay, well, if you're going to try and disarm him, roll an athletics check.
No, I said never mind, we're not cutting through that thing anyway.
No, I thought you were going to try and disarm the guy.
Yeah, to take a scimitar to cut through the tentacle, but with it being that thick.
Oh, I get it now.
I mean, there's no bones. You just keep hacking.
I mean, you don't know that there's no bones. There might be bones. There could be bones.
Calamari.
Probably an amount of cartilage. At the very least, a lot of dense muscle.
What tentacle got bones?
Kazad scoffs and goes to help with fighting the tentacle.
Okay.
Day of
He,
the Tentacle.
He kind of like smiles assured of himself. There you go, lad. I knew you'd grow a pair. Now the rest of you get to work. We need carrion of munitions and powder. And he kind of just like kicks them away and then cuts the rope on one of the lifeboats down into the water.
We need those.
So you break off to then go and return to help with the cannon, and we're going to go to Malagosa and what she was doing while you were doing that. So Malagosa, you show up. This cannon, this turret battery, right, is like, it's like the size of this room, basically, right? It's like a 12 by 12 box that has a cannon in it. But it's not like a closed box. Like the rear of it is open and it's got this like large breech for loading the cannon, and there's like a dozen men in it who are, some are at the controls and like struggling with the crank to like force it into position, and it is being forced out of position by this large tentacle. There is a large shell which is like sitting above the breach, which is like being loaded in as this is happening, and they are now sitting there next to you, like they can see you as you run up, and they're like, these gnomes and these dwarves. Is there anything you can do to deal with this? Is there any way you can help us like push this into position? Our turret is jammed as long as this tentacle is in the way.
Malagosa cracks her knuckles and just give me some room. And she's going to try and force the cannon into position.
You're just gonna try and crank it yourself?
Actually, it's the tentacle that's
So it's blocked, right? But like, you could try that. Like, I'm not asking you incredulously.
Yeah.
It's all. There's no engine here, right? It's all just gears and like gear reductions and everything else. You could try and wrench this thing with help.
Okay. So is a tentacle actively grabbing at it, or is it just
It's just
big
in
and
the
in
way. Yeah, it's literally just preventing the ring from continuing to rotate.
Okay. So then I can't exactly, and it's just as thick as the other big tentacle, right?
It's the same one wrapped all the way across the hull.
Right. Okay.
And then there are a couple of more like further down on parts of the deck that are just entirely unreachable to you.
Okay. So then it seems like my best option right now is to try and lend my strength to this.
Okay. Well, you're welcome to give me an athletics roll and try and do that.
Ooh. 23.
Okay. So
I've played Space Marine.
Yeah, you and this group of surly dwarven sailors manage to
The Wide Boys.
push at these analog controls, and the gears are all seized until you come by, and there's just this. It's like Cabaneri in the Iron Fortress when they released the pressure limits. You see the gear shift, and then the whole gearbox starts moving as you push, and then it's this kind of rotating axle that
All right, but hang on. Though as she's doing this, she says, "Is there any way that you can aim it not at the tentacle in front of us? Aim it at the
Yeah, lass, that's what we're trying to do, is aim it at the big spot."
No, what I mean is, and she points, aim it at where the tentacle is coming from.
Yeah, lass, that's what we're trying to do.
Okay.
Maybe we've used a cannon once or twice before.
I just misunderstood where they were aiming. I thought they were trying to get it at the tentacle. Anyway.
No.
Sorry.
It's okay, she's a barbarian. She doesn't think.
I'm a pretty smart barbarian. I just misread the situation.
So they, you get it all moved into position.
Not high charisma.
And just as that happens, and they get it aimed, and they're bringing the cannon down and zeroing it in, the crane that they use to lift these shells, which probably weigh like 300-ish pounds, right? It gets knocked by a heavy wave and like the lurch of the ship, and the shell slams down and like bends part of the breech of the cannon and
Oh, fuck.
like rolls against the deck. And they all just like sit there like, no!
Not toggle maps!
Like, so this cannon is now inoperable unless something can A, load it without the crane, and B, slam the breech closed.
How heavy does this look?
The shells?
Yeah, the shell.
Like 300 pounds.
Oh, I can do that.
Okay.
You can?
Yeah. I actually think it's in my carry limit because with my 18 strength, but if you want I can just give you an athletics roll.
I actually am curious if you can carry that much, or if that's even still a mechanic. We'll just say, just give me a roll, and
Okay.
as long as it's like not complete dog shit, that's fine.
Sure.
Also, a friendly reminder: we do play with hero points. You get one at the start of every session, and you can burn them to reroll any d20 roll or to avoid lethal damage.
Oh, I also found the rules.
Okay.
Lift as much as double his maximum load off the ground, but he or she can only stagger around with it. Lift maximum load over their head and then be fine.
Okay, are you sure you're not reading Pathfinder 1E's rules?
Damn it.
Yeah.
Never mind then. Okay. I'm
Please
just gonna
just give
give
me
it
a
a roll.
roll.
Yeah.
Like I asked.
All right.
That's
Fuck
plenty
yeah!
good enough. You could lift this shell above your head.
Alright.
This is like
27 for those at home.
this is like a barrel-sized cannon shell, right? Like they're meant for naval guns. They're big boys.
All right. She just says, keep that thing aimed," and she lifts the shell. She lifts the shell, kind of grunting with effort, and then and then loads it into this cannon, and then slams the breech shut.
You can't.
No, I can't. That's right.
You cannot. It is damaged.
That's right.
Not at least with that athletics roll.
What about an attack roll?
You could try and bang it shut.
I suppose I could. I'm trying to do more than think with my meats right now,
Pick
but
with your meats.
You might need your meats right now.
I think I need my meats right now.
Barbarian trying to think not with her meats.
But
I
Yeah.
rage.
fuck it. I'm just going to use the pommel of my greatsword to try and slam this thing shut.
Okay. I'll take an attack roll for that. Yeah, you hit it. You definitely hit the inanimate object. Well, yeah, so you don't have to roll damage. You basically like charge into this thing and hit it with the pommel, and it manages to like slam the breech shut, but it's not locking. You'll have to stand there while they fire it.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay, and
So
I will. You know what? Yeah, I'll do
Go for
that.
it. Do something cool.
I'll brace my back against it and cover my ears and tell them to fire.
okay, so right as that happens, right? Kazad, you show up, like, and Malagosa is sitting there, like, holding the back of this cannon, as they are like rotating it into position to attack whatever this thing is. Malagosa, this is not easy to hold in this position because the breech of the cannon, in addition to the shell, is a lot heavier. And you also can't move because it will adjust their aim.
Shit. I mean, I don't really have anything that can help me here.
I'm going to assist in holding it closed because it looks like Melagosa's struggling.
Okay.
Yeah, she has like when you come to help her, she just says, thank the gods."
Okay, so they rotated in position, and they all cover their ears and kind of wince in you guys' direction. So right before they fire, Kazad, you notice that the breach is closed enough for them to be able to like fire the cannon. They're probably only going to get one shot, but there is a gap between like the edge of the cannon and where the like breach meets it. There's going to be a large like flash of powder, like a black backblast, basically.
Oh shit!
And Malagosa does not realize this. You might be able to shield her. What do you do?
I'm going to use my shield to try and protect both of us from getting hit by whatever's going to come out of that gap, because it's closed about as good as it's going to get in its current state.
Okay, are you going to prioritize yourself or Malagosa?
How much of Malagosa is exposed to the gap compared to myself?
Depending on how bad this goes, it would take a lesser person's head clean off. And she is standing over it.
I will prioritize her.
Okay.
Oh boy!
So
This is how I lose. This is how my second character loses an arm.
I'm gonna take a reflex save from Kazad, and I'm gonna take a fortitude save from Malagosa.
Gotcha.
Not bad, not bad.
Okay.
22 and a 16.
Let me roll something real quick.
All
the
right,
best thing.
so Kazad, you get blown off of the boat. You're fine. You're just 30 feet in the air.
So Kazad, your shield takes 8 damage, right? But you managed to shield Malagosa from the worst of it. And that would be reduced by your shield's hardness, whatever that is, and whatever. But so you react in time where it's like, oh no, and manage to get like your shield arm over this hole as like the blast comes, and you're both sitting there with like ringing ears. The fortitude save on Malagosa's part is you're holding the back of this cannon breach, which is the part that is going to get blown backwards. It blows backwards and slams like straight into your chest, and you're like anime pushed back like a foot almost, but you're still on your feet, and you're not wounded or damaged or anything by that. The blast in your face, however, you have been spared the worst of. You take 8 damage.
Ouch.
And you are deaf right now.
Okay.
But when the cannon goes off, like as they have moved this into position to get the cannon off, it hits this thing in the face, and there's this massive explosion that lights up like the whole night as it is at the moment. And you see the backdrop of like, you know, there's splinters and timbers of damaged ships in the water. And the storm is slowly calming down, and the swells are getting less frequent and less severe. And this thing lets out a terrible shriek as it gets hit, and the tentacle that is wrapped around the boat begins to recede into the water. We're going to swap back to about 5-ish minutes ago now to Sylvis and Leaf, who are going back down to find the gnome who is welding up the hole in the hull. So you guys descend back down through the decks that you've passed, and you know you're making good time. As you... Oh, I have killed these lights. I need to turn these back on. Ugh. As you start getting down to the bottom, right, to the lower deck, as you're turning, rounding like the last corner, you can hear the gnome like struggling and shouting like, "No, you won't have me! I swear it!" And you could just hear the sound of like his torch being pushed against something that is like, there's this wet popping noise, right?
Oh dear.
And there is, when you round the last corner, there is something in the room. It's not a squid. There is this like polyp, like this like kind of school of weird polyps that are now in the boat, that are in the room with him, and he is like fending them off, like waving his welder in place. The leak has been brought down to almost a trickle down here. The hull is nearly sealed, but he's just not having a good day. And he sees you guys coming down, and he's like, "Please, please help me!" And one of these like blob, like these amorphous gelatin blobs, like leaps at him, and he like hits it with the torch, and it pops, and it splatters on him, and there's this like subtle sizzle, and he's like, "I'd really rather not have to risk continuing to fight these things on my own." And he kind of like pushes his canister behind him and backs up a couple of feet, like, that sounds like a great way to explode.
Immediately gonna try and cast Daze.
How many polyps are there, though?
They are like, so they're about this size, right? They're about the size of a small ball.
Yeah.
And there's like a dozen of them, if not
Oh,
more.
I thought this was like a conglomerate.
No.
Yeah,
Daze only affects one thing.
Oh shit.
Jeez, I understood.
Y'all got cone spells. That'll do good.
Let's see what
God,
I've got.
got shit like that. Okay. Fuck it. It's whip time. It's fucking time for the fashion accessory to be used as a weapon.
Okay, hold on. I have a couple more questions about the situation.
No problem.
That was more meant for Kiki.
Okay.
I
no
want
problem.
to assess some stuff. Okay, so there's still a water level in this room, yeah?
Yeah, but it's down below your knee by far. You can walk
Right.
easily.
Okay. So this is an ammunition store, yeah?
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
it's all mostly spoiled.
Hmm. Wait, so he is standing in the water, just
He is
surrounded by these things?
He is, so they're all on the other side of him. He's managed to keep them all like directly forward of you guys and directly
Right.
forward of him.
Hmm. Is there anywhere he could flee to that is above the water level?
Yeah, I mean, he is above water. He's not drowning. It's like his head is above water. Like
I mean, out of the water.
yeah, I mean, he could just run towards the stairs where you guys are.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I
Hit the shock.
yeah, I want to try and just get all these things in one. Use that water to the advantage of I can conduct electricity. Okay, well, I need him to do that.
Okay. He sees you and he happily takes your order to move out of the way.
This is good.
We're gonna use roll an initiative roll, and we'll see whether or not it maintains its necessity. Like if these things survive, then they'll come at you. Okay. And let's see if he beats their initiative. Okay. Yeah. So he runs to the stairwell pretty much the second you start saying anything, and gets himself above water.
Okay. So the thing about the spell is used like in actual combat. It has a target of 1 to 2 things.
Well, we'll see how much damage you do, and we'll see how we have that work.
All right.
Target the water.
Let's see here. Spells. Electric arc. Leaf's gonna try and hit that electric arc.
Woo!
Okay. Give me just a second here.
All right.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, max roll. Oh, never mind. Not a max roll.
Okay. So you pull out this arc of electricity, right? How would you describe this spell? Like, what does it look like when you cast this spell?
So Leaf casts everything through like the tree trunk-esque log that they carry as a great club, and they take it off of their back and kind of wave it in a circle for a moment, and the mushrooms that grow on the outside start like crackling with electricity before they like slam it down into the water and let the electricity just kind of flow forward.
Okay. So you managed to dispatch these things, right? Like they're all gone. They all pop. And it's really weird. It almost smells a bit like popcorn, and it sounds a bit like popcorn,
Oh,
but
dear.
very
This
big.
is a delicious disaster.
No, it is not. Thanks for the help, though, Pete Moss.
I am not Pete, I am Leaf.
Right. Anyway, Maple Boy. Why are you back down here? Like,
I have come to save you.
From what?
That apparently we're being evacuated. People are abandoning ship.
There has been an order to leave the boat.
From who? On whose orders? The captain would never
I-
abandon this ship.
I do not know.
It was some woman in this armor, kind of. Her hair was actually pretty cute. It was ruined by the fact that she had, this cut
Was
with
she a
a lot of.
dwarf or a gnome?
No.
Then she wasn't a crew member. Look, I got a hole I gotta fill.
Then let us continue fixing the hole.
You don't need to. Okay. I get it. Okay. So he moves over. He finishes his welding after a minute or two, right? And the flow into the room stops, and he's like, "Now let's go see about whatever this evacuation order is." But I really don't think things are bad enough to merit having to abandon the ship. And when he says that, that's when the screech that like shattered glass in the windows. That's when that happens.
There
And
sounds something very big.
Halen Almighty! What the hell was that?
maybe we are leaving. Oh, you think? All right, big boy. Let me get on your shoulders.
Just picks him up, sets him on back.
Thank you. Now let's get going.
We reascend.
Up we go!
So, as you are ascending, you get stopped in one of the middle decks. There is a creature that does not appear to have noticed you as you are like climbing your way back up, trying to get topside and figure out, okay, are we leaving? Can we go? Are the bad things over now? Give me just a second, because I have had a bookmark and I have lost it because I am dumb.
Dorime.
Got some fucking Cthulhu shit going on.
There is a creature called a brain collector.
Ugh.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
It is very big.
Yep. It's related to
those
mind
just, like-
flayers.
Yeah, those are like the fucking small dog-sized brain lions.
What the
I mean,
fuck?
in Pathfinder, they're not small.
Yeah, no, that's
You're
Like a
you're
medium
thinking
dog.
of something else.
Large?
you're thinking of Intellect Devourers from
Oh,
Yeah.
big crab boy!
That's what it was.
Big crab boy.
Oh, did you look it up? Yeah, that's horrible.
That is
Yeah.
nightmare.
That's rad.
But there is this large, kind of almost like watery, ethereal looking bear in the hall. It's like a cross between a seal and like an actual big ass like vicious grizzly bear. And it's kind of just surrounded by this like soft haze of water, and it's sniffing around, like stalking the hall that you need to cross to get up the stairs to keep going. And you notice that there is blood in the water near this thing.
This is inopportune.
Sylvis is gonna like crouch down and try to like convince the others to get down and try to stealthily move past, because we would know. No.
I can try and communicate.
Something tells me this isn't gonna react like the squid did.
It is a bear.
Is it though?
Is it though?
Fucking mega tardigrade.
Oh no.
That's not a bad comparison necessarily.
Oh no!
Hmm. Let's see. Anything I can do here? Actually, there might be.
Actually, fuck this.
Is so it's just like it's walking, right? It's not like doing anything
Yeah, it's
special
just kind
for
of
locomotion.
prowling around. Just kind of like wandering through the hall.
Hmm.
It would be possible for you to try and like duck around and like circumnavigate it through stealth.
This is a stealth mission.
Well, how's my stealth?
Bad.
How's
Stealth
my
Michonne.
stealth? No.
I don't think that +1 status bonus.
Yeah, sure. That'll give me a +1 in stealth.
Nothing.
Okay. I
Excited.
I am having an idea. You will take this small one, and you will do the sneak.
What about you?
I'm sorry, what?
I will try and hold it in place.
Guy.
My plan out of character is to try and cast Tanglefoot on it
That's a good idea.
Okay.
to
Second-
try and bind it in place as a distraction, because there's no way in hell I'm stealthing past this thing.
If that
Second
succeeds, you
thing-
could all just run past it at that rate.
Well, yeah, the backup plan was to have them get in position so at least they could, like, fucking scoot
You-
while I distracted it.
Sure.
So
Second?
if they can like get into some sort of pre-sneak position, Leaf will attempt a Tanglefoot cast.
They can go ahead and roll their stealth.
The second things go sour, I'm coming back for you.
I need
Yeah.
someone to join my cult.
Roll.
Gonna get one of these fuckers if it kills me.
You gotta roll that stealth, Kiki.
Good thing I have high stealth. And by high, I mean I have a mod of 2. So
That'll do it.
Nice.
That'll do it. That's a 25 for
Hey.
you, home.
Okay.
That'll fucking do it. All right.
He also rolled like a 23, so
Cool.
I just
yeah.
fucking
And
disappear.
With them in position, I will attempt the Tanglefoot roll.
all right.
Hmm.
Now I'm gonna let you know right now. 11 is not gonna hit this guy's AC.
I'm aware.
But you can burn your hero point and re-roll that, and we'll see what happens.
Hmm.
Is
Is it though?
I don't think it's the bear.
Hmm.
It looks like bear is water bear.
Hmm. Sure, I suppose I can't really think of anything else I would need it for. I'll go ahead and roll again. That's a
Hey,
20.
That's
Hey.
much better.
That's literally double my last fucking roll.
fuck yeah.
Okay, so you hit this thing with Tanglefoot. It is a success. It's not a critical success. But here's what I will have you know. It literally only has 10 feet of land movement. And Tanglefoot on a success takes 10
It's a
feet.
10 foot, yeah.
So it
Fuck
can't.
yeah.
It's locked in place. It can't move.
It begins like roaring and shrieking. It sounds like a disgruntled like bear crossed with like a lion. You know that video of the seal where it's like
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
It's like that.
I want to say the cast this time isn't like an elegant like swirl of the club. Leaf holds the log like a flamethrower and just sprays sap at this thing.
Oof.
The
Yeah.
goo cannon.
You
The
guys-
goop.
You guys can handily bypass this like
Now we are moving quick.
yeah.
We are
Um,
fastly.
We are fast.
We are looked real fast up.
I love the way Lee fucking talks.
But you guys get past this thing, you know, and the gnome.
There's 4 more. You die.
No.
Rock small.
No.
Everyone dies.
I mean, I could run a really mean encounter. Let me go find something.
No.
Fuck you. There's a giant crab.
You know there is a stat block for giant moray eels. I just found that
Yes.
interesting. They're a
Ah.
CR 5 creature.
Hmm.
But anyways, so you guys get past it, and the gnome's like, I really do appreciate you. I'm sorry that I
That
keep
is
making
upsetting.
fun of you. You're an immensely competent fellow.
You are
Please-
forgiven. Stress does these things to us. We
Please-
should continue moving before the sappies melt.
Please don't jostle the canister too much. You guys manage to get yourselves topside, and it happens just in time for you guys to watch like Malagosa get like fed a face full of blasting powder. Yeah,
Yeeted.
and that's when the Kraken gets hit with the explosion, and it throws these like tentacles up in the air, and it begins to like descend back into the ocean, and there's like cheering on the deck, like, yeah, give him another face full of that one, lads.
Why are we hurting this creature?
Are you an idiot?
What is this word?
Leaf doesn't know the word idiot.
Leaf
Oh,
doesn't
no.
know a lot of words.
What happens next?
What happens next?
The seas settle.
3 more squids arrive. The
3
council
more.
has decided your fate.
Yeah, 3 more giant sea monsters show up.
What the fuck, dude? You shot Greg.
You don't even have Odysseus around, so like,
Ah!
but
Cersei.
the seas calm down, the storm calms down, it's dark and quiet seas, and whatever that thing was sinks down to the depths of the ocean.
Help. Mal,
I am sad I cannot draw this new friend, but it is okay. There is still the friend down in the lower deck.
How bad off is this poor gal looking?
oh,
She didn't take any damage, did she?
I did.
Eight.
She did.
Malagos has got like some light burns across her face, but she's standing perfectly steady. She's looking like she's standing steady, but like kind of mildly in pain. But the thing that's like concerning her the most at the moment is she's snapping next to her ears and like looking very perturbed.
It's not permanent deafness. You do hear ringing. Your
That's
hearing
the
will
tinnitus.
Yeah, the hearing will return.
Tinnitus.
That's the real plague. Everyone has tinnitus now.
Silva's just like, you know that thing where you're trying not to laugh, and so like you cover your mouth casually.
I'll be right back. You guys can keep
Mhm.
talking, bro.
That's
Yeah.
the thing that this is doing.
Leaf wants to do something to help Malagosa.
What are you doing then?
There is a trick that when your ears are ringing, especially like if you actually have tinnitus, to cover or plug your ears and kind of hum to even yourself out.
Uh-huh.
So Leaf does that.
You just cover her ears.
Yeah.
Just
She
screaming.
looks at you like
And
confused.
just kind of emits a very low tone to make sure she can hear it through the giant hands covering her ears.
She looks at you like confused and like not quite sure what you're doing, but willing to entertain this for the moment.
Kazad is digging seawater out of his ears with its pinky.
We need. That thing is going to come back.
I am under the impression that it is dead.
What?
It is gone.
Quay?
Just more humming.
Looks over to shit, Pat, I forgot your character's name. I'm sorry.
Kazad,
Discombobulate.
And
discombobulate.
and starts asking what's been going on up here while we were down underneath.
He just looks at you kind of confused.
I
can't read lips!
I don't know if you're. Wait, is
Bro.
Kazad deaf at the moment too?
No,
Yeah.
it's mostly just Malagosa.
Oh, look at me.
He tilts his head and bangs on the side of his head that's facing upward, and a little bit of seawater splashes out of his ear.
A squid
Oh.
falls out.
Now what?
So you're all accosted by a giant squid.
Underneath.
There is a bear.
Giant fucking squid!
Oh yes,
Cannon
I
broke.
could see that.
We bothered to try and fix it. We shot the squid.
There is a bear down in the hold.
Happened with the evacuations.
I don't. What are you talking about? Where? We're here on this boat.
Yes, there's a creature down there that is very perturbing, and it's surrounded in blood. So,
What? How did mud get onto the ship?
The blast was no kind of her.
Leaf
Are we evacuating?
removes their hands. You can hear me, yes.
Can I?
Roll a fort save.
Okay.
Deafened permanently.
Yeah, permanent.
That's not bad.
You can communicate as long as you have time, like to process what is being said to you.
Yes, it's a little spotty, but I can make it work.
This is good.
we need to get out. We need to. That thing is going to come back.
There is a bear.
Well, then let it come back, lass. We'll just have you hold the damn gun shut and we'll get it with another round.
I have a question.
What? Malagos just kind of winces.
What the fuck?
Silvus like, raises a finger and nods, like, "No, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good question."
That was real. No.
If Kazad had not been here, I would have been sheared in. I would have been sheared in half.
Yeah, well, you weren't, lass, and neither was the boat, and everyone else for that matter. I appreciate your selflessness.
You're welcome.
About this situation, because we're not going to be able to continually fight what is apparently a bunch of giant fucking squids.
I mean,
There are
Most
many
things in-
creatures. There are the jellies. There
Yeah.
is the bear.
Also, the weird things that were attacking the gnome and the water bear thing.
yeah, we'll clear out the rest of the decks. I mean, but, you know, it's probably not going to come back. I mean, most things that find that food's worth more trouble than it is, you know, they just back off.
I think a large hole put in me would perturb me from making a sandwich.
Exactly. So
That
you
just
all,
makes sense, yeah.
you all can, you know, return below deck and we'll get to work and get the guns back up and keep them loaded for the rest of the evening.
Figure out another solution. I'll help you load it, but I'm not going to be holding the door of an explosion every time.
No, you don't have to. We'll figure it out.
I still think. How far away were we from landfall?
You don't know.
I assume. Does anybody on this boat know?
It's been kept relatively tight-lipped, but you are supposedly about a day's away from land.
We need to talk
Yeah.
to the captain.
How far off are those other, like, evacuated?
They're trying to flee to other boats, if there are still other boats. They are not easy to see in the dark of night and the waters. Those that have evacuated may be lost causes.
Can I prestidigitate a signal flare?
I mean, it's not that they don't know where the boat is, it's that you wouldn't be able to find them.
Well,
Well, part of
Well,
life.
ain't getting any better.
What? What is it? Look, what, you all look so sad. What's up? What's wrong?
The people are lost.
You mean those over there? And she points perfectly at at one of the boats because I have dark vision and can see them just fine.
Wait,
There are more creatures.
I have dark vision too. Does that mean I can see them?
No, Haley, you can't see like these boats. They
Aw,
are
damn.
it's not a matter of like they are dimly illuminated. It is that it's really hard to find a boat against the backdrop of
Right.
the sea.
I see. Okay. Well, never mind then.
Actually, I guess I wonder how dark vision works. What wavelength of light does it operate under? I guess I'll have to figure that out, and then I'll have a more consistent idea of how dark vision should work.
But we need to see the Casita. We can't. If things like that are going to keep happening, this ship is a big target.
Perhaps the captain knows who that is.
Right.
Silvus just pats Leaf's arm.
You're speaking a language they do not speak.
I forget sometimes. The captain.
Ah. Yes.
But and she'll kind of like get the gunnery dwarf's attention that seem to be leading the charge.
It's my new band, Gunnery Dwarf.
That was Elvin, by the way, right?
Oh no, that was. I mean, it's okay. So the region of the. I mean, I guess if you're well traveled, you'd probably know this. The region of the world that Malagosa is from has a like kind of regional dialect. I mean, she can still speak Common just fine, but it is. I'm using Valian from the Pillars of Eternity setting.
It would be like I'm trying to think what the most two compatible versions of Spanish are, but it would be like that.
Yeah.
Where it's
So
like
not Elvin.
yeah,
Not
no,
Elven.
it's not.
It's just it's just another form of Common that she knows.
Though I probably am just going to turn it into its whole own language at some point.
All right. But hey, you? Where's the captain?
I don't know. Why would I know?
Where is their quarters? I haven't even met the captain throughout this entire journey.
Well, he's a private man, likes to keep to himself. What do you want me to do about it?
Can you show me to his room? I think that I have earned a little bit of a right to discuss things with him, especially since that just happened.
Look, he's not taking visitors. You're a bunch of fucking castaways, and you're just passenger folk, right? It's not a luxury cruise.
It's not a luxury cruise. I did not pay to be here. If it were a luxury cruise, I would be eating fine food, and I would have stayed below We are all here in the same boat.
And you might get to meet your captain if you're on a luxury cruise. Aye, lass, but you aren't, are ya?
Fine.
I can.
I
take you
would
to his
like
door.
to meet the captain.
You're welcome to knock on it all you want.
Please do.
He shows you to the captain's quarters and shows you his door. It is locked.
I would like to attempt the knock.
There is no answer.
Malagosa turns to the others. Have any of you? I have not seen him. Have any of you, perhaps, seen the captain?
Have any of us?
No.
Oh,
No.
frankly, not quite sure I'd care to. Sea captains can be bastards.
Perhaps I
Ah,
perhaps I can convince him for an audience with us.
and how would you do that?
I am a scholar.
Malagosa just blinks.
Leaf is good with people.
Malagosa blinks twice.
So the
Why do you
idea
want to
is
see the captain anyway?
Because I want to know how far away we are from land, because a sea monster showing up is a bit of a game changer, don't you think?
You'll be wanting to talk to the navigator then. Captain can't help you. The sea's talk to the navigator.
Perhaps. But we're here already.
That our cabin boy, and he looks up towards the mast. Is there a mast?
I'm gonna go with no.
Looks up where a mast would be.
Well, I'm
Short on
going
that one.
to politely ask somebody that very question. And Sylvis is going to go and try and look for the navigator.
Okay. I'm trying to think what the right role for that might be. I don't know that perception is necessarily the right role. I miss investigate. Investigate is a skill that would be useful.
Yeah, that's a good one. Diplomacy to talk to people and try to figure out where he is.
Sure, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. Roll a diplomacy check.
Only thing I can think of.
Gonna go with a hard no.
You come off creepy, and your breath smells of garlic.
Wait. We're allowed to spend our hero points on stupid shit, right?
Yeah, you can spend it on any d20 roll.
Yay! Yay, that's better.
Improved.
Yeah, that's slightly better. So talking around, you do find a number of people kind of corroborate the story of they haven't really seen much of the crew, to be honest. Like, tonight was the night that they've seen the most crew members ever. So you saw a number of people from like engineering, and you saw like a number of like ship hands and everything, you know, like working the guns and everything else. And then, you know, the people trying to prevent folks from evacuating. But nobody's seen a captain, nobody's seen a navigator, nobody's seen any like critical staff, you know? Nobody's seen anybody who like makes the ship run.
The gnome we were working with, he's part of the crew, right?
He is, and he is now notably absent.
I think they abandoned ship.
Do they get off? I'll get off too.
Our gnome did not abandon ship, though. We know that.
How
Oh.
do we know that?
If crew were going to abandon ship, they'd have done it when people were abandoning ship.
I was one of the ones vehemently against it.
The fact that they, the fact that, oh, go on.
I'm starting to have suspicions myself, and that's something coming from myself. I think that perhaps this is worth investigating.
Don't take this the wrong way, anybody, but can somebody pick a lock?
I have a club.
Can't you pick a lock? Why would I know how to pick a lock? I don't know, because you're urban? I know you are not saying what I think you're saying.
Would you be a dear and help us into the captain's?
Who are you asking?
Leave.
To just break the door?
Let's not.
Fucking break up.
So this is like
Let's
an
not be
iron
hasty.
bulkhead. It can be picked, but if you're gonna break it down, it will take a while.
Not exactly the tools with me to go about finding my way into places.
I thought
So,
you could pick a lock out.
we've-
Haley. Oh, go on.
got options. I don't have to break the door down. I could try and melt the lock.
Woo!
That would. I mean, that stands the risk of fusing the door shut.
That is
Oh.
true.
Is it on a metal frame or is it a wooden? Like,
It's
wall.
a metal. It is a metal like.
Think Fire Nation.
You're in like a submarine, like basically,
Ah.
right? That's you've got metal walls, metal floors, metal doors.
Is
Metal beds if you're
there-
a sucker.
is there a keyhole?
Yeah, there is an obvious keyhole. Like if you had the means, this is a lock that could be picked.
Is it one of them keyholes that if someone were keen enough, they could looky-loo through it to the other side?
Sure, you can go.
I don't want to do that, but I do want to use pest form and turn into a little beetle.
Okay.
Shit, that'll work.
Woo!
I
Leave is the MV fucking P.
yeah,
bug!
It is a spell roll.
Oh no!
Do you still want me to roll for it, or
What would you have to roll?
It's just a spell roll.
What do you mean?
Like,
Do you have to roll every time you try and transform? That doesn't sound right.
I don't think so. Hold on, let me look at Path Builder. It's got a better. Let's see. Spells. It's not wild shape. It's specifically pest form. Duration 10 minutes. Transform into a battle form of a tiny animal.
No, this wouldn't be one
That
you
doesn't
rolled
have
for.
a roll.
Oh, cool. Okay, so Leaf like props their log up against the wall and like claps their hands together like this, and then within a flash of small green sparks is a beetle.
Okay.
I did not know that druids could teleport.
So
Nothing personnel, kid.
I'm gonna need
I
an
can't-
acrobatics roll.
I can't
squeeze-
fly.
Oh, well,
I have
someone
to-
will have
I-
to do.
I'm a beetle. I can crawl.
Oh yeah, so you'll crawl.
I just
up
yeah.
You'll crawl up. Now you're gonna need to squeeze through the lock, which takes an acrobatics roll. But your new modifier for it is +10.
Sick.
So give me a
How's a 28 do?
fucking
I think you
28
I don't-
will do.
Yeah, I don't have an acrobatics modifier normally, so
Fucking so you squeeze yourself through this lock in through to the other side into this room.
what
The
do my
lights are
beetle
off.
eyes see?
There's no lantern, no light, no nothing in this room.
Okay. Does a beetle have dark vision? Wait, do my senses carry over because I have low light vision?
low light vision.
Low light vision would only mean that if there were light in this room, it would be doubly as effective for you. But
I see.
no, there's no it's just dark.
Okay.
Cast light on the door handle that is on the other side of the door.
I don't have light in my repertoire right now.
Can you talk?
Sylvis.
Can you talk to us?
No,
No,
you
I
can't.
can't do beetle hand signals.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Message.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Hey, fuck yeah.
How long has it been? It's been a moment or two, right?
Yeah.
All right. So after a moment or two of nothing happening, Sylvis is gonna tap his foot impatiently and just say, "I don't like this. I'm going to message them," and goes ahead and concentrates and speaks to Leaf with message. Let me find it. There it is. It says, "Leaf, did you manage to find your way to the other side? Bit worried. We're not seeing much from over here."
It is dark in here. I cannot see.
Looks to the others and says, "It's too dark for him to see." Why do I have?
Oh, go.
No, go ahead.
Can't you light things up?
I can, but the problem is getting it over to that side.
What about the door?
Just cast light on the whole door.
Yeah, I mean,
That'll do it.
Whole ass door.
The description of light says it has to be a certain weight.
oh, well,
Let me.
Can Leaf go back and cast light on the beetle?
you could cast light on anything on your person and then just turn into a beetle and then not be a beetle on the other side of the door.
Wait, hang on. If there's a weight limit,
Object glows like a torch. You cast a spell.
so here, if you need something to pass through the door handle, and Malagosa Malagosa produces a stick of chalk from her pocket, and then breaks it into a small piece and offers it to Sylvis.
This would work perfectly, actually. Sylvis will cast light on it and put it through.
All right. So the chalk does like break; it disintegrates into this like glowing powder, but it does illuminate the room on the other side. Leaf, you can see that there is nobody in this room. In fact, it doesn't look like there's anything in this room. Like there are bookshelves and stuff, and there's a desk, but it's empty. Both the bookshelves and the desk
Right.
are empty. There's nobody in like the bed that's in this room.
Okay, so coast is clear. Leaf changes back to Bolg. I'm assuming the door can be unlocked from this side?
Yeah, you can unlock it from that side.
Yeah.
It's
so
just like a
Leaf
deadbolt.
Sweet.
Yeah, Leaf unlocks and opens the door. There is nothing here.
Wait, nothing?
There is no one. There is no signs of living in the room.
Look through the room. What is there?
If you
Yeah,
if you give me a perception check and we'll see what you guys find in the room.
Alrighty.
all of us.
Yeah, if
Why
you're,
not?
anyone who's going to search the room is welcome to give me a
Oh
perception
yeah, I'm
check.
fucking searching the room. This place is...
Boo! What do your Bolg eyes see?
Leaf is our
Oh.
MVP. Okay. I want everyone to give me a description of like where they look around in this room. So I'll give you a better description of it. It's like I want to say like 15 by 15, 20 by 20 room. It's relatively luxurious considering the cramped nature of the rest of the ship. It has like a queen-sized bed with like an actual mattress on it. It has multiple bookshelves and it's got like an executive desk and a chair behind it, but it also has like a drafting desk and table with like all kinds of like papers and maps which look like to have been like neatly stacked and stashed in like scroll cases and stuff. There is also like a large chest sitting at the foot of the bed in this room. So what does everyone go and do? And I will tell you what you find.
If there's anything like chests or things that look like they might hold valuables, I'm going there.
Okay. So Sylvis goes to the chest.
I'm gonna check the desk.
The executive desk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Leaf's gonna check over the maps.
Okay.
I as well am going to... Malagosa will start towards the desk, but upon Kazad going towards it, she stops for a moment, like considers it, and then goes to check the bed and like anything else that, like I guess anything else. Like she'll look under the bed and just kind of inspect the area.
Give it the old once over.
Yeah, give it the once over.
Okay.
Look for anything hidden.
So you're looking over like the bed and that's...
The rest of the furniture.
Okay. So I'm gonna take it from the top then with Sylvis. Your chest is locked. It is a nice, well put together like mahogany wood with gilded gold.
Mahogany.
It's about
Mahogany.
like yay wide, right, and about this tall. It's kind of like just a big fancy footlocker. But
It's a
picking it
lockbox.
up, it's heavy. It's heavy, but it's not like impossible for you to lift. If you shake it, there is stuff in it. It rattles, right? But there's no way for you to easily open it at the moment. There's no way to pick it. You could try and pry it open, I guess, if you had like a crowbar, but that's what you find at the moment.
Do I have a...
need to use the restroom. Oh my goodness.
Go use the bathroom.
Sorry.
There we go.
Your body's doing that thing.
It is.
Gotta go now. I'm gonna let Scylla in because I think she's at my door.
Ah! I want what's in this chest. I'm willing to break this lock if that's what it takes.
I'm really kind of surprised that none of us can pick a lock.
I thought it'd be too tropey for me.
I mean, I considered picking up thievery, but it was like a merchant. Like I'm, it didn't really make sense for where she came from.
That you don't know how to pick a lock?
Yeah.
It does make sense for Sylvis to know, but I didn't want to be too
That means
tropey.
that every time you lock yourself out of your coffers when you lose a key, you need to call a locksmith.
I'm a locksmith, and I'm a locksmith.
Sylvis might just get frustrated and ask somebody for help.
There's something about me making characters in Roll20 that makes them do exponentially well on the first session.
You are fucking rocking this.
Also, Kiki, Leaf is a they them, much like myself.
I'm sorry.
Nah, you're good.
Sylvis might ask for somebody else with heartier strength to come and help bust this fucking thing open.
I mean, I still have Acid Splash, and it's no longer metal, so
Ooh.
I could also hold on. Depending on the parameters.
We should have kept a leash on the
I could try and I could prestidigitate you. Oh fuck, no wait, god damn it, can't be used as a tool. Fuck. I was gonna try and prestidigitate just like a wedge.
Yeah.
That someone could like hammer into the thing to break the crease. But yeah, I could acid splash the locking mechanism.
Would be wonderful. Leaf just enabling this shitty cultist.
I could also wild morph one of my hands into a claw and try and pry it open.
Malagosa has claws.
I do too. I have other kinds of claws. I can have crab.
Snippers, get him!
Good job, son.
I probably just saw the fucking green thing and said, nope.
Goodness.
God. Druid's rule. When I built Leaf's like spell loadout for the first couple sessions, I wanted to build with a good balance of utility and other stuff. Like I've got Electric Arc, Tanglefoot, Stabilize, Acid Splash, Prestidigitation, and then the only two like actual spells I have are Gust of Wind and Shillelagh.
Useful. Very useful.
And then
God.
of course I've got the Wild Shape, Wild Morph, and Pest Form.
I've got a shield and a pick. I can hit things with them.
Wait, you have a pick?
Oh shit!
Picks are wedge shaped. If we can just position that on the lock and just like drive it through with enough force not to break the thing like in two,
Oh yeah, we could just
just pop it open.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
I like
position
that
it.
idea.
Yeah, just position it on like the hinges or like the crease next to the lock, and just like Malagosa with the flat of your sword or something, just hammer it in from the backside.
Just fucking kick it.
In
Something.
that case, I have a dagger. I have 4 daggers to be exact.
But I mean the pick.
You'd
gives,
risk breaking a dagger. A pick will work better.
Yeah, the pick is a lot sturdier and might provide a little bit better of like a shove. If anyone had an axe, that would be preferable.
Hey, wait a minute. Didn't I think... Hang on. Did I actually do that?
Do what?
No, I don't have an axe. Damn it!
I have a wood axe tool,
Hey!
so we can either use my pick to wedge this thing open, or we can just cut the box apart.
Kazad, having what's needed.
So yeah, Sylvis is just fucking making a lot of noise trying to rip this lock off.
Smashing the box with an axe is kind of I don't want to damage what's inside because it could be important.
I'm going to
True.
tell you 100% right now, you could definitely damage what is inside of that box.
Yeah, so
So
that's
Just
why
use my pick as a wedge.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's why I
let's
was like, why don't we get like very specific with how we use one of these things as a tool instead of just probably a lot safer than spraying acid on it as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and preface. I'm gonna run down a couple of things. We're gonna do all of these perception checks, and then we're probably gonna close out because even though it's not quite midnight, this is about what I had. This is pretty much where I expected us to end. So it's kind of good that Tattoo's gone for an hour, or we'd be sat around with me not having enough content to continue. But so. The Sylvis finds the chest. The chest is locked. It's a well-made chest. Then we move on down to Kazad, who checks the executive desk. Looking through it, you do open a drawer and you find a book which is written in Dwarven, and it's like a captain's log, right? It's like a daily
log.
journal that comes down, like it goes through. You check the dates, and it's from the previous voyage. It's the maiden voyage of the Hammer, the one where people came back sick and everything.
Oh, I did not realize we were on the Hammer again. I thought this was just another ship.
No, this is the Hammer.
Ooh,
It has been retrofitted and turned back around.
I see.
Yes. So what's detailed inside is like that whole journey and the it would take a long time to read, right? So summarized, like, things were good, things got progressively worse, like there were bad seas, and then there was an attack by a giant creature like the one that you were just fighting, like as is described, to which a majority of the fleet was lost. And then the final captain's log is that land was found, right? And then there's no log after that. There's no log for the return journey.
That's
So
concerning.
then we go to Leaf. Leaf, you scrolling through these maps, you notice that some of these maps are quite old, like they've been taken out of an archive, and they are kept in scroll cases that are very well made and very tightly kept, so that the moisture stays low, like the humidity stays at the same level, and that the temperature stays properly regulated, so that nothing happens to the parchment or the ink. And some of those maps overlay with more modern maps, and one of them is the course chart for the maiden voyage, and it is also the so there's the plotted course, and then there's the course that they believe they followed, and then so that's what you find, right? Something seems off about it, though, right? Some of these maps are not entirely accurate. You can't quite put your finger on what, considering that's just not necessarily your area of expertise. You're not a cartographer. But they don't look like how modern maps do. If you look at modern maps of the continent you guys come from, like, it's not accurate. Malagosa, you find under the bed, you find an old pair of boots which don't look like they've been worn in months. They are sized for a dwarven fellow, and there is a note in one of those boots. It is written in a script that, let me see, what languages does everyone speak and read?
Common and Dwarven.
Common, Draconic, Druidic, and Sylvan.
Okay.
Common, Elven, Undercommon.
Okay.
Common, Elven, Draconic, Dwarvish, Orcish, and Celestial.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, fuck.
Malagos is quite smart.
This note is written in Broken Celestial.
My.
I am so sorry to have desecrated these lands, and I can only hope that I will be forgiven.
Oh. Oh, I just put two and two together.
Oh no.
I don't get it.
You will.
So,
Don't.
Yeah, no, I'm not. So Malagosa stands up and she says, and she reads the note aloud. So, these boots, they're old. I recognize them. I maybe saw a pair of these. I can't place it. Maybe 100 years ago, or hundreds of years ago, maybe.
They're not that old.
They're not that old.
No, they're just normal boots.
Oh,
The note
Okay.
is like a scrolled note inside the boots,
all right. But she
like a piece of paper,
right.
basically.
But I found this.
That fancies.
I am sorry for desecrating these lands. I only hope that they might be forgiven. Is basically what it says.
Desecrated? What desecrated land?
Very particular choice of words. What did you all find?
These
Captain's log. There's it's the last log from the maiden voyage, but it ends. There's nothing after it comes. There's a note in the end about it making landfall. Land is found. There is a place they find at the end of this voyage. There's nothing after that. Nothing about the land. No return voyage.
Leaf?
these maps are wrong.
Wrong how?
I am not a map person.
Could I use my either a society or mercantile lore role, having, I mean, Malagosa's been amongst a trading company. She is definitely interacting with maps.
Yeah, you could make a mercantile roll.
Okay.
This is a map. So one of the maps that Leaf has is a map from the very early Second Era.
What? Let me see that. And she takes, and she kind of like takes the map. This is old. This is incredibly old. This is actually quite valuable, but
Priorities.
This is from the Second Era. This is nothing about this boat makes sense.
Desecrated lands on notes. Empty rooms with staff that don't show up all the time, only when necessary. Old maps?
Something's
Could I
very
try
wrong.
making an academia lore roll to see if I can figure out anything about the maps?
Academia. Sure. I will also take something like lore ancient history as well.
I have that.
Okay.
I do not. I'll
I've
try
got academia as well.
Okay, well, I'll take academia from anyone who's got it. I will also take ancient history from anyone who's got it. Okay, so between the three of you, with Malagosa kind of leading the conversation, right? You kind of had like a bardic college, like lore conversation, you know? There's a bit of debate. The thing that you recognize about this map, though, is that it is very similar to a piece of cartography that is described in a book from the
very early third era. So we're talking like this is stuff that's like tens of thousands of years old, right? This is stuff that's there's being able to keep it in an archive would be worth like traveling across the world to go and find type stuff. And it's just sitting here in this captain's cabin. It is from a book titled The Search for the Lost Lands. There isn't a copy of that map in there, but it is described, and you can verify the rough authenticity of this map because it is signed by the original cartographer, and the signature you have all seen and do have examples of. So this map is very likely authentic. It's a map of somebody searching for the battleground that took place during the First War, where the gods like went to war with each other and angels and devils like nearly destroyed the world, where supposedly mankind, or rather mortal kind, was born. The myth goes that the Lost Lands were lost intentionally because like the emotional impact of like that land and that battleground was too great, and the treasures and dangers and the things that were left there, the weapons and corpses that were discarded in that land were too dangerous to be exhumed and unearthed.
That does not bode well.
There's also... Well, I doubt it's anything compared to what you've already found, but this thing won't open. He kicks the chest.
We need to open this, and
Hell, lockpicks! I've got a pick right here, and he pulls his war pick out.
No.
No!
A
You're not
very
destroying.
precise strike could open the box with minimal damage.
All right.
Like
He
a
places
chisel.
the point of it basically just inside of the lock, basically looking to bust it open. Drake, kick
Okay.
this. Talking to
Um,
Malagosa.
and she tries to. She's not going to imply a ton of force onto this kick. She's going to try and be very precise with it.
Okay.
What kind of roll would you like?
Give me an athletics roll. Or an
boy.
attack roll from never mind.
Unarmed. Whatever. I've already rolled this. I should have waited.
You manage to kick it, and the pick like bounces.
What?
Like you're trying to put it in between where like the top of the chest would meet the bottom, right? And force the pick in so you can wrench it open.
Basically.
Yeah, it's not gonna do that.
Try setting it inside the lock with the hope of busting the lock. Because if the locking mechanism breaks, we can just open it. And he invites another kick.
Does anyone know anything about metals, metallurgy, that kind of thing?
I mean...
I'm a dwarf.
Yeah, he is a dwarf.
Do you have
In a
anything you can...
dwarf sense.
Do you have anything you could roll?
I might know about like chests and stuff because of my underworld stuff.
Do you have crafting?
Yes, I'll take crafting. If anyone has crafting, I will take that.
I mean, I can roll for it. I've got a +2.
Anyone is welcome to roll for it.
I don't think that's going to cut it.
Have you used your hero point yet?
I have not.
Go for it.
All right, try that again then. That's a bit better.
Nice.
Okay.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Okay. So the wood itself, though colored mahogany, is dark wood, which is a very,
Oh,
very,
God.
very hard wood. It's harder than a lot of metals. The metal on this is gold plated, but it is mithril.
Fuck!
This
What
chest
We're not getting through this anytime soon.
is not a joke.
Oh. Dark wood and gold-plated mithril. Not even my war pick's getting through this. We'd need to open it proper.
Perhaps there's a key.
Wait,
be melted.
can I tell what kind of metal the screws holding the hinges in place are?
They are also mithril, but the hinges are screwed in place. If you've got a screwdriver, you can just disassemble the chest if you want.
While they're doing that, Sylvis is gonna fucking try and look for the key.
Okay. Give me another perception roll.
Come on, Drow Eyes, don't fail me now.
They have failed.
They
you.
failed me.
Boom, boom.
The room is absent a key to this chest.
He flumps on top of the bed.
If there was a key, it would probably be around the Casseta's neck.
Can I look around for something like a screwdriver or any kind of tools?
You could probably get at this with a coin if you really wanted to, but it'd take you a while.
I bet the coin are talking just like a copper.
Yeah, like just, like how you can take a quarter and do a screw.
How much time you guys think we have?
Well, with the door locked, and Malagosa puts her ear to the door just to see if she can hear anything out there. Perception roll.
Yeah, go ahead.
Damn it!
You
That's
don't
not
hear
good.
anything.
We are most likely alone for now. This
No one's likely to check. They say they leave the apartment alone anyway. Well, we're going to be sitting here a while, and he kind of plops down, crisscrossing his legs, and pulls a coin out of his purse and starts going at the screws.
I can make the door very difficult to open.
don't do that yet, but if someone tries to kick down the door,
I
Do
can
that.
perhaps go and perform a distraction while you all work on this.
no. We could just take this chest back to our quarters.
No,
We
without someone
Do
noticing.
not have quarters that are not shared.
Between the four of us.
Yeah, you guys are in a room just with the four of you.
Think about it.
Sylvis
Most of it.
immediately starts trying to pick up the chest.
Okay, you're going to throw me off.
I mean, Leaf was just gonna sit against the door.
Simple and practical. If most of the people around the ship are still going to be busy repairing damage, tending to wounded, performing rites on the dead, now would be a good time. But Tico,
We'll be fine. He just keeps going.
No. How big is it?
How big is the chest? Yeah. About the size of a footlocker, a little bit taller and a little bit not quite as wide.
We shouldn't be here. And besides, so long as we can keep our voices down, I have a lot of concerns with where the ship is going. The Lost Continent was lost for a reason, and if the desecration is what caused our current shared predicament, we might be heading towards further disaster.
Well, I mean, there'd not be a point in turning around. The whole point of going this way is to figure out either what caused it or to find a cure. If we go back, I mean, it's not like we're getting any younger.
Cozy, I do not mistake my intent. I'm not saying to turn around. I'm saying perhaps the people on this boat deserve to know what they are getting into.
They knew what they were getting into when they signed up to go aboard the boat that arrived empty and brought a disease that ages you.
I mean, it didn't arrive empty. It just arrived alone with none of its accompanying other ships. Most of the crew of the Hammer survived. Though notably though, the crew of the Hammer is not the same crew now. There was a huge change of guard almost immediately after returning to port.
Actually, oh well, you keep screwing.
No. Look, let's just take this back somewhere that maybe we won't be bothered. I mean, we have a door, right?
Yeah, you've got a door.
We've got a door here.
If anyone has a backpack, you could also hide it in a backpack.
I've got a Fearbulk-sized backpack.
Let's give that a go. I mean, if you really want to open it, you can wait 5 minutes while we walk to our rooms.
Fine.
Leaf? And she picks up the chest and hands it to you.
Leaf stows it away.
So I assume you guys do a very similar song and dance to get out of this room, where it's like, okay, open the door, everybody leaves, then fucking Leaf locks the door, turns into a beetle, goes through the lock, comes out the lock, and then turns back into Leaf.
Centipede this time, but yeah.
Ooh, a wiggly boy.
A wiggly boy.
Ooh.
Long and leggy, but not in the way you think.
Do those legs go all the way up? No. But I do have many of them.
So
Quantity over quality.
you guys return to your quarters, and I know Kazad tries to finish getting this thing open. So after a couple of minutes, he does succeed. He pulls out the last couple of screws, he removes the hinges, and he is able to basically just pull the box open.
Like a fresh can of Pringles.
Yeah. So, upon doing that, inside this box is there is a cloth wrapped over an object, which is, and this is like a solid black, like,
It's the key to the
wrap.
chest.
No, it's a solid black, like, cloth, right? But there is something illuminating through that cloth.
What's that?
I'm going to move the cloth without touching whatever is illuminating it.
Okay. It is a small not corked. It's a small, like, sealed vial, right? In this very ornate pattern where it's got this, like, gold around it, and it looks like it's meant to, like, sit in a necklace. And there is this clear liquid inside this, like, glass crystalline piece to this, like, it's basically this pendant. The other object in this box, which is a separate object, but they were, like, held together while they were wrapped,
Right.
is a ring. Just a gold ring, which appears to be the object which was actually illuminating the cloth, and when uncovered, like, loses its luster. Like, it ceases to illuminate the room once observed.
Interesting.
Can Leaf inspect the ring?
Sure, you sure can. And anyone who is proficient in religion is welcome to give me a roll for it.
Legend.
Go for it.
That is not something I have.
I'll attempt it. Kiki, you want to attempt a religion roll with me?
Oh.
Yay.
Okay. So, this ring, based on its design, is a core. So, I'm trying to think of how to describe this because this is something that, like, Kiki should have things for, right? Like, it's this ring, based on the way it's described, is the ring that allegedly Aelin gave to her lover during the First War.
Sorry, folks.
Nah, no.
Kiki's
Absolutely.
excited.
Dude, this is integral to my enjoyment of the game.
My,
It's like losing his fucking mind.
how interesting.
You
Indeed.
like this ring?
What? What is it? Stop screaming!
Just like can't speak.
Yeah.
Yes.
What? Then what is it? Speak up, Drow, but with useful words.
This is a most holy relic. What is this doing here? This, I cannot be sure, but this looks like the ring which Aelin held.
Who is this?
Okay, so I just I will admit
Who
something.
is your god?
I will
I've only been telling you about him for a month.
I will have to admit something to you, and I apologize in advance. I have not been listening. Are you talking about when you talk about your god? You are not referring to the Queen in the North, yes?
The false traitor? No.
Wow, I have never heard the Drow talk like that about Aelin. Okay,
I mean, there's a couple of them out there.
few.
And like when he says that, like any and all like humor is gone from his face.
So we have we have an artifact of a god, supposedly. We have a map from the Second Age, which Malagosa stuffed that in her pack. That's worth lots of money and is going on display in the Balasage family home.
The second you can get home with it.
Oh yeah.
Why do you steal?
You're breaking and entering. Keep it. Stuff it, Verbal.
That was a different person. I am not a beetle.
I can't be responsible for what happens when I go beetle.
Where will you be during random
beetle event?
But
Leaf. If I could,
Yes.
this would be a most renowned relic amongst my church.
This is special.
Very.
We must perform the sacred rites.
Quay.
I joke. I do not know any. Here you go. Leaf very daintily hands the ring to Sylvis.
Sylvis just is holding it irreverently, just like.
So we have the artifact of a god, supposedly, and as she's saying this, she's doing her best to keep her voice down. She doesn't know how thick the walls are, and she's very worried about being overheard. But
Is there a check I could make to investigate the serum in the vial?
Without opening it, Arcana maybe.
Just down the contents.
Oh, don't do that.
do that.
I've got a decent Arcana.
Give it a go.
I am the trained.
Oh, me too.
Let's attempt. That's a 16.
I popped the cork and I down the contents.
You have no idea what this stuff is
Nope.
at all.
Can I tell if it's
God.
anything natural? Would a nature check do anything?
It's obviously not natural. It is
Hmm.
immensely magical, but what purpose it serves is completely lost on you at this time.
Man, I wish one of us had detect magic to fucking blind ourselves.
If that is, if we're interested in figuring out what's with the rest of this, if I sleep on it, I'm sure I could help in at least figuring out something.
You sleep pretty well for a murderer.
Gono. So then, I get the sense when we arrive that which order on the boat is that's going to be in about a day. Things are very quickly going to probably get bad. But I must confess, again, also, don't take this the wrong way. You all did I did not think much of you when I first saw you. We did good today.
I did many things. I did not see what you have did.
Solid work. Wouldn't have thought any mortal could have held a cannon like that closed.
I can still... my back still aches, and I can feel the reverberations.
Aye, but you're not
I-
dead. That's the
I
surprising
have
bit.
an herbal concoction for this.
Nah,
Would you like to see a chiropractor?
I will be
Hold
fine.
on, and Leaf begins plucking
no.
mushrooms
No,
from the
I will,
backpack.
no. I will be fine
You
tomorrow.
will eat
And
2 of these in the
I will-
morning.
perhaps, and she
2
kind
of
of
these at night.
like
2
Like-
of these in the afternoon.
she kind of like thumps a part of her arm where there's a majority scales. Strong draconic constitution. I will be fine.
I have seen the scales.
So we're gonna pull out, I guess, like, right, if this is like an episode of a show, and it'll pull out from like the
Wait.
porthole.
Hang on, just a minute. You disassembled the chest. I put the rest of the components of the chest in my bag. We have got hardwood and mithril now. Score,
Oh
guys.
my god.
Score.
You
May
could make
I-
something out of it.
Oh, I
May
know.
I keep the wood?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. You can have the wood. It's druid stuff. All right, but I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to say that before I forgot about it.
Okay, so well, don't not put it in your inventory, and then we all forget about it forever.
Yeah.
I should probably put
Ow.
this ring in my inventory.
But we'll zoom out on this like it's an episode from a television show where it pulls out from the porthole of the like barrack that you guys are in, and you see the ship from like an aerial view where it has these like bad dents and like lots of notable damage. It has a socket for where another turret near the front of the ship would be, where
It's just gone.
it's like sheared away.
Fuck.
Like the barrel of the cannon is on the deck, like embedded in the wood of the top deck, but the turret itself is gone. It's just the ship looks a mess, and there is like darker water beneath the boat than the surrounding area. So good session, guys.
Good session.
Oh,
Good
boy.
session.
Woo!
You can dispose of Craig.
All right, robot boy, get the fuck out of here. I gotta type the command. Hang on.